Correct. So perfect. So why don't you guys tell me a little bit about how you're involved in this? Because I know I have a director, I have an actor, I want to hear all about it.
His name is James Downey. He's an incredibly gifted British actor. I was lucky enough to meet, and I'm Julian Hayat Kirknawy. I'm the director and the writer of the film, and we're very happy to talk to you, Sammy.
We are indeed.
Nice. Yes. So James, why don't you tell me a little bit about your character and then you could tell me a little bit about the process of directing.
Sure, yeah. Well, the film starts in a very calm, serene setting. It's not much is happening and people just living their day-to-day lives. And Adrian is he's madly in love with this woman who's from another class, another status. And his love for her is rejected by his father. And well, by both sets of parents, really. That both parents don't want them to be together. But they're harboring this secret, and they talk under this beautiful tree about how they're going to tell their parents and when they're going to tell their parents the secret. And so yeah, he's a lover, he's an artist, he's an escapist, he's a dreamer. Julie and I, we based him on these archetypes before sort of delving in deeper into his psyche. And then when the war arrives on his doorstep, all his problems that were he was in conflict with kind of seem insignificant in comparison. They kind of all blow up into the air. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, as a director, what I was trying to find is I was trying to blend blend historical accuracy with especially emotional storytelling, because I wanted to engage our audiences into how it must have felt on a visceral and emotional way if to be at thrusted into the beginning of World War One, and how World War One might also be um, how the same things always keep coming back in every conflict. People in the truth are the first casualties of that war. And the journey of Ian Glenn's character and Adrian, so that's James's character, and Sasha Lust's character, their relationships and how their conflicts are influenced by the war, are to highlight the personal stakes of it, and they kind of make the war. When we then think back of World War One, instead of an encyclopedic recounting of what happened, to a very emotional and um, relatable conflict.
And what was the biggest challenge for the both of you working on this?
For me, the challenge was of shooting a film of such ambition in 30 shooting days. That was quite complicated, but I was lucky enough to have an incredible crew and very gifted actors that immediately always knew what the emotional sincerity and vulnerability was of each scene, and we were able to get to the core of every scene in a very smooth, remarkably smooth fashion. James?
Yeah, I think it's probably just sustaining focus throughout these, long shooting days. It was my first time doing a movie, so I was sort of picking up things as I was going along. I was making notes of how Ian paces himself on sets. I learned a lot from the more experienced actors. But yeah, I think, Adrian, there's not for Adrian, my character, there's not a single sort of dull moment in the film where he's feeling settled. Something is always bubbling within him, and so it's just about making sure that was sustained throughout every single scene. And yeah, knowing when to be able to drop it and when to pick it back up. Yeah, it was hard to find that line sometimes, but yeah, I'd like to think we pulled it off.
There was,
Very
if I might, I'd like to
Good
add
idea.
some. The biggest challenge of this film was also because um, how do you get the audience emotionally hooked by actually making two different movies at the same time? Because the movie, when you see the movie, you can clearly see it's father and son at the other side, and to try to depict the film as an impactful story while these family relationships start fighting with each other because one son picks a fight with the father, and then that makes in result of that his son wants to pick a fight with that father, and the whole plot starts to be thrusted forward. However, editing this movie was a very big challenge because how do you emotionally engage the audience into first believing and caring about those characters? And what I think when you're going to be seeing the movie, what you'll find remarkable or interesting is the first 15 minutes of the film is pure about family. Everything is about the family aspects. Every conversation, family, family, family. And then suddenly there's a very small, you'll miss it if you don't blink it, and you'll miss it. The film fades to black and then recuts back in that tent scene, when there's that blue camp, and then it's a totally different movie. Then the movie is about how the war will impact everybody's life. It essentially, we're entering World War One in that. And the movie opens to the whole village and the greater conflict beyond the family. That's something we discovered in the edit. The biggest challenge.
Very nice. Well, they are telling me it's out of time. I want to thank you guys. I'm proud of you, and I hope you all get to talk again soon.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much,
Nice talking to you.
Sandy. Thanks for
Thank you.
supporting the
Bye.
movie.